obviously was a ton of debate before the Olympics about NHL participation. As a league, you eventually decided not to go. Having witnessed the games without NHL players, first of all, you confident you made the right decision, and what were your impressions watching hockey at the Olympics without your players?
First of all, we're very comfortable with the decision we made as a league. The disruption to our season and what we would have missed the last 2 or 3 weeks, the momentum of the season, the fact that our teams would have come back in varying conditions, some teams more banged up and tired than teams where there weren't that many players at the Olympics. So we are very comfortable with it. The tournament was entertaining. Hockey was not best on best. I think the gold medal game was exciting, but based on the overall reaction that these Olympics got, I think we were justifiable in our decision, justified in our decision, and comfortable that it was the right decision.
Do you think they'll be best on best in 4 years?
I'm not in a position to predict. The fact is that even in 4 years, the issue of disruption of our season will be there, and it's not something we're focused on right now.
Canada's always been a strong hockey market, but it's going on 25 years that a Canadian team has won the Cup. We're looking at maybe only 2 Canadian teams making the playoffs. I know it's tough to get in, but does it concern you where things are at?
Well, I start with a different premise. We're one league of 31 teams, and we happen to be geographically diverse. Based on the system we have, all teams can afford to be competitive, and we've had an average typical turnover of at least 5 teams a year in the playoffs. Our regular season is unpredictable. I think 2 out of the last 3 or 4 years we've had 7 teams turn over in the playoffs. It's not a question of what country you're in, it's a question of your organization and how you run and what stage of your rebuilding you're in. But our competitive balance is extraordinary. You see it in the regular season races, and you see once the playoffs begin, anything can happen. So it's not about where you are in terms of what country you're playing in. It's a question of your organization, your team, the chemistry you put together, a little bit of puck luck, and that's what happens.
There seems to be some excitement growing south of the border. A 2-hour drive from here is Seattle. It could be a nice little rivalry if all things fit. How do you see that unfolding?
We have to go through a process. Obviously, as everyone knows, Seattle, David Bonderman has filed a request for an expansion team. They're renovating Key Arena, and we're going to be going through a process, as we recently did with Las Vegas, touching all the bases, doing the due diligence, because expansion is an important decision. I'm mindful of the fact that in terms of the Pacific Northwest, having a geographic rivalry with Vancouver would be terrific. That's obviously one of the factors that will be put into the equation. But first and foremost, we have to be satisfied, as we were in Las Vegas, that the team can and will be successful in Seattle.
Gary, in 2006, when the draft was here, the awards were here as well.
Yes.
Obviously, they found a home in Vegas, but now that you guys have taken up residency in Vegas, what's the future of the awards, and is there a chance that it's part and parcel with this announcement?
We have a multi-year commitment, not permanent. Franchise is permanent, but not the awards show. And at some point, we'll obviously take a look at where it makes sense to have the award show, whether or not it continues to make sense to have it in Las Vegas, or whether or not, as with our other events, it's time to move them around. I mean, the question before about pursuit, we have lots of events, whether it's outdoor games or the draft or the award show, and our clubs want them. And so there was a lot of competition for the Canucks, but based on the presentation that Trevor and his people put together, the strengths of this city, this organization, this arena, we're thrilled to be part of the 50-year celebration.
If in fact Seattle does become a franchise, will it experience the same positive ability to draft game players as Vegas did?
We would anticipate that the terms of an expansion draft for a 32nd team would be the same as they were for Las Vegas. My guess is the prospective owners of a 32nd team wouldn't want to have terms any different than what Las Vegas got, especially because they're going to be paying more. What's going on in Las Vegas is a phenomenon. There are probably a whole host of factors, and some of them are emotional. This is a team that came into being in the wake of a terrible tragedy, and I think on some level the players are playing for some greater cause, unity, healing, you name it, and I think you see it in the way the players have conducted themselves and the way the city has embraced this team. But obviously a lot of work throughout the process we went through for expansion satisfied ourselves that Las Vegas was going to be a good place for us to be, that the team would be successful, and that's the same type of process we'll go through with Seattle.
Just to follow up to that, Gary, I know not every club was happy at the level of generosity in the expansion draft compared to previous ones. The fact that Vegas is doing so well, have you experienced any blowback from any of your teams?
Not below. First of all, it's not like I said, here's what you have, Vegas. All the teams voted on the expansion knowing what the terms were. I think I get more, I haven't gotten any blowback. I've gotten a lot of amazement in terms of what they've been able to accomplish. And it is a testament to Bill Foley and George McPhee and the entire organization there. But that is, you know, when you're looking at the fact that this may be the most successful expansion of any expansion in any league at any time, I'm not sure people should view that negatively. I think they should view that positively, because ultimately it reflects on the strength of the game in the league.
Does that help you with Seattle or whoever the next team is?
Certainly didn't hurt.